the last miracle. The world had grown weary with conflict. Humanity seemed poised on the brink of ruin, torn apart by wars, division, and mistrust. Nations fought over borders. Communities clashed over beliefs. In the midst of this chaos, the faithful whispered of a prophecy, a final act of divine intervention that would change everything. It was said that Jesus would perform one last miracle, a sign so profound that it would unite all people before his second coming. The awakening. One fateful morning, a strange phenomenon unfolded across the globe. The sun rose in hues of gold and crimson more radiant than ever seen before. Its light carried warmth that seemed to seep into the hearts of all who felt it, filling them with a strange, unexplainable peace. People from every corner of the earth paused, overwhelmed by a profound sense of unity, as though the world itself was drawing a collective breath. In the days that followed, reports of miraculous occurrences spread. In a small village in Ethiopia, a deaf child suddenly began to hear. In the crowded streets of Mumbai, an old woman blind since birth saw the face of her granddaughter for the first time. On the borderlands of warring nations, soldiers from opposing sides found themselves unable to raise their weapons, overcome by an irresistible urge to embrace one another in forgiveness. These miracles were not bound by race, religion, or nationality. They happened in mosques, temples, synagogues, and cathedrals alike. In places where famine had long reigned, crops sprouted overnight. In war-torn cities, crumbled buildings seemed to rebuild themselves, and fresh springs of water burst forth from the dry earth. The message. Amidst the growing awe and wonder, a phenomenon began to manifest that would defy all logic. A single phrase, spoken in countless languages but understood universally, appeared in the minds of all who witnessed these events. Love one another, as I have loved you. This message resonated deeply, transcending barriers of language, culture, and belief. It appeared in dreams, in the songs of birds, in the rustling of leaves, and in the whisper of the wind. Children began to repeat it with startling clarity, their innocent voices cutting through the din of the world's chaos. Religious leaders from every tradition gathered, no longer to debate, but to reflect on the meaning of these miracles. For the first time in centuries, they stood side by side, acknowledging the shared divine essence at the heart of their faiths. The gathering. Then, one night, a new star appeared in the sky, brighter than any other. It hovered above Jerusalem, its light beckoning people from all walks of life. Pilgrims from every nation began their journey toward this holy city, compelled by an irresistible force. As they arrived, they found that the streets of Jerusalem had transformed into a place of unparalleled beauty and peace. The very air seemed alive with divine presence. The star's light illuminated the city, casting away all shadows, both physical and metaphorical. In the center of the city, on the Mount of Olives, stood a man whose presence radiated an indescribable love. It was Jesus, his countenance glowing with a light that seemed to reach into the souls of all who looked upon him. The miracle. Jesus raised his hands, and the crowd fell silent. He spoke, not with words, but with a voice that resonated in the hearts of every individual. You are all my children. You have fought over differences. I never intended to divide you. But today, I call you to be one, as my Father and I are one. At that moment, something extraordinary happened. The people began to see visions, glimpses of one another's lives, joys and sorrows. They saw the struggles of their enemies and felt their pain as if it were their own. This shared understanding broke the chains of hatred and mistrust. As the crowd stood in stunned silence, Jesus performed his final miracle. He reached out his hands, and a golden light emanated from him, spreading across the world. It touched every heart, healing old wounds, erasing the scars of hatred, and filling the voids left by centuries of conflict. The new dawn. When the light subsided, the world was transformed. People embraced one another, not as strangers, but as family. Leaders of nations signed treaties, pledging to work together for the common good. Religious leaders declared a global day of unity and prayer, acknowledging the divine truth that had been revealed. Jesus spoke one last time. "Prepare your hearts, for I will return soon. Until then, love one another, and let peace be your guide." And with that, he ascended into the heavens, leaving behind a world forever changed. The final miracle had done what centuries of effort could not. It united humanity under the banner of love and peace, paving the way for his glorious return.